The free agent market has really cooled off at this point, not only for the Lakers here, but really the entirety of the NBA. Hasn't been a big, let alone many signings in the past 24 to 48 hours now, and it really comes down to one thing in my opinion. That being the buyout market, and more specifically, a Bradley Beal contract buyout. According to reports and according to Phoenix Suns reporter John Gambadaro, he expects that Bradley Beal and the Phoenix Suns will complete a contract buyout, and well, he thought it would be done by later today, saying back on July 6th that he did think it would reach a resolution within 48 hours, which again would be by later today. So whether or not that happens, I think that's what every other team is waiting for Bradley Beal to hit the free agent market, to either potentially sign him and try to pursue him, or then for other free agents to sign after him, which I think that's what they're waiting for too. Talking about guys like DeAnthony Melton, Malcolm Brogdon, pretty much every other backcourt player for that fact, they're not going to sign until after Bradley Beal is signed because they want to get the maximum amount of money they can, and other teams won't commit that until they know they can't get Bradley Beal, which does reportedly include the Lakers here. According to John Gambadaro again, or other reporters like Evan Sidery, even more after that point, the Lakers are apparently interested in Bradley Beal, saying that they're one of the 5 teams that would try to sign him after a contract buyout, including other teams like the LA Clippers, Golden State Warriors, so on and so forth. They are one of the teams that would like to have him on their team. But unfortunately for them, they're definitely not the top priority for him according to reports, one of which being the factor that they don't have the full biannual exception to offer him, which is only about half of what he would probably get from a different team. If you're not aware, the Lakers don't have access to it currently, following them signing both Jake LaRavia, DeAndre Ayton, and then giving Jackson Hayes a pay increase. Even if they would then waive the non-guaranteed contract of Shake Milton, they would only gain 3.9 of the maximum $5.1 million amount of that biannual exception. And well, compared to other teams like the Miami Heat, Golden State Warriors, LA Clippers, who likely or probably could get the full mid-level exception worth $14.1 million, that's a big time difference. And according to reports, that is the amount that Beal's likely to get back in a contract buyout, the exact $14.1 million amount, so he probably does want that back in recompensation. So in my opinion, Bradley Beal is pretty much off the board for their team. I mean, unless he's willing to kind of take a pay cut and thinks that they would be the best fit for their team, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't find it very likely. And if you ask me, this is what's holding up the Lakers and pretty much every other team from making another big move in free agency. Not wanting to commit their money, not wanting to commit their roster spot until they know they can't get Bradley Beal, and that he's officially off the board for their team. Which, like I referred to before, will then likely open up guys like DeAnthony Melton, Malcolm Brogdon, both of which they have been linked to and both of which they apparently would like to have on their team, really signaling that they're trying to make one more backcourt addition to their team. Now I'm not sure if that comes with simply waiving Shake Milton. Will it come with also trading Gabe Vincent, who is kind of occupying that spot for their team right now, filling that backup combo guard spot for their team, off ball at shooting guard at times, sometimes on ball as a point guard or simply a ball handler for their team. I imagine they'll probably try to move him as well if they do in fact try to sign a DeAnthony Melton or a Malcolm Brogdon. And in regard to both of them, like I said, they have been linked to them. Per Jovan Buha of The Athletic, they have reportedly cooled on DeAnthony Melton, but we have heard about them being linked to him from reporters like Michael Scotto of Hoopshype, other reporters I can't think of off the top of my head, but they do apparently have interest in him. And then for Malcolm Brogdon, also have been linked to him. According to Jake Fisher, the Lakers, Clippers, Suns, Warriors, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Kings, and Bucks are all expected to try and sign him. So definitely a long list there, but the Lakers are included, per usual, and I think it would make some sense for their team too. So we'll talk about if they should try and sign either one of DeAnthony Melton or Malcolm Brogdon, if they can't get Bradley Beal, which again I don't think they will, how that would work out for them, if they should sign them, how much money it would take to get them, and if they would be the best option for their team post Bradley Beal, or if there is a different option or maybe a different backup plan for their team, which I actually think there might be too. And beginning with DeAnthony Melton, I referenced the report from Jovan Buha saying that the buzz between DeAnthony Melton and the Lakers has quote-unquote cooled, and there has been more quote-unquote buzz with him going to Golden State, or I guess going back to Golden State. The team he signed with last summer, he played with for only 6 games prior to getting hurt, tearing that ACL, but then he got traded to Brooklyn and thus won't be going back to their team. So will it be the Lakers? Will it be going back to Golden State for him? That's up in the air right now, but I think those are the two teams that he's picking between, and I think he will wait until Bradley Beal is signed or the resolution with that situation is done. But about De'Anthony Melton, we've heard plenty about it. It does make sense for their team. If healthy, he's probably the best option left, or the best backcourt option left on the open market. Is a true 3-and-D backcourt kind of combo guard, very good point of attack defender, defensive pest at that, having a career average of 1.4 steals per game. Yes, per game, not per 36 minutes. I always talk about that, but it continually really shocks me, and it's very impressive too. I mean, in only 23 minutes per game, if you're averaging more than 1 steal per game, that's already pretty great. Let alone a steal and a half per game, and per 36 minutes, over 2 of them per game. Definitely a defensive pest, good point of attack defender, not simply a passing lane guy or a bit of a risk taker. Is actually a pretty good disciplined defender on top of that. Then for the 3 aspect of 3-and-D, is also a pretty good 3-point shooter, holding a career average of 36.9% from beyond the arc, while taking over 4 per game, and he's continually shown improvement too. During the past 4 years combined now, shooting roughly 38% from beyond the arc, while taking about 5.5 of them per game in only 25 minutes per game, translating to well over 7 per 36 minutes, and at that efficiency level and primarily coming off the bench, that is very impressive for a role player. So again, if healthy, and that is a big if for him, only playing 44 games in the past 2 years now, he would be my ideal backcourt signing for their team, especially if they're simply replacing Gabe Vincent, plan to trade Gabe Vincent, or I guess even for a better, more reliable option in their backcourt. But if they can't get De'Anthony Melton and he does in fact go to Golden State, or simply wants more money than they have to offer, right now they have $3.9 million, if they would waive Shake Milton anyway, of their $5.1 million biannual exception. I think that would probably be enough for De'Anthony Melton, wouldn't be enough for Bradley Beal, but I guess the Golden State Warriors do have more to offer him, and if they do want to give him that and outprice the Lakers here, then he might go back to their team. So if that would happen, then maybe trying to go the Malcolm Brogdon route. Is a little bit older than De'Anthony Melton, also is a bit injury prone, so gotta factor that in here. Now being 32, coming off a fairly injury prone season, you know, kind of a combination for playing for a tanking team and them kind of holding him out longer than he had to be, but he only played 24 games. In addition to that, only playing 39 in the 2023-24 NBA season, combining for only 60 games between 2 years now, so definitely a red flag for Malcolm Brogdon. Isn't the most durable player out there, so that would be an issue for him and potentially an issue for their team if they would sign him too. But much like De'Anthony Melton, when healthy and on the court, he definitely has a lot to offer a team, even more offensively than De'Anthony Melton, is and can be a true point guard on the court, is a very efficient playmaker at that, holding career averages of 4.7 assists per game to only 1.7 turnovers per game. That's a 3 assist to turnover ratio and very impressive for any player, let alone a combo guard like Malcolm Brogdon. So having that come off their bench, playing behind Luka Doncic, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, would be a very valuable and efficient playmaker to have behind them. And not only that, but a guy that's also a very good off-the-ball player, having a career average of nearly 39% from the 3-point line. Very impressive, taking over 4 of them per game in 29 minutes per game, translating to over 6 per 36 minutes, so we're talking about a fairly high volume, efficient 3-point shooter that can play both on and off the ball too. And not to mention he has plenty of background playing for good winning teams, playing for Boston back in 22-23, having plenty of time in Milwaukee back in the day, even playing some playoff games with Indiana, accounting for 43 total playoff games in which he holds averages of 12, 4, and 4, while shooting 38% from the 3-point line. So yes, he does have postseason background, would fit on a contending team, and would be a pretty good option for a contending team like the Lakers here too. But then going back to that report about him, the Lakers are definitely not the only team that would like to have him or would sign him for a cheap price, and if it would be for a veteran minimum contract, I'm not sure he'd be at the top of their list or that they would be at the top of his list. I mean, picking between the teams that are listed there, other teams have definitely a bigger role to offer him, more money to offer him, and again, I'm not sure the Lakers would be his top pick. I definitely would like it and would be open to it if they can't get De'Anthony Melton. If they can't get Bradley Beal, then Malcolm Brogdon would by no means be a bad consolation prize here. However, there is a very real possibility that they simply don't get any of them. striking out and going over 3 on each one of Bradley Beal, DeAnthony Melton, and Malcolm Brogdon. So at that point, what do they do and who do they turn to on the free agent market? Or do they even go to the free agent market? At that point, do they keep Shake Milton and not waive him? Or is there maybe a better option on the free agent market still? In my opinion, I think there is yet, and I think they would still go that route, waiving the non-guaranteed contract of Shake Milton and then picking up a new free agent. And if you follow the trend of the players they've been picking up here, there is one common trend between all of them. That being the fact that they share an agent with a current player on their team. With Jake LaRavia, he shares the agent of Austin Reeves, and to absolutely no surprise after seeing them hang out, playing golf together, working out, and doing a shoot-around together, that they picked him up immediately thereafter. Or then for DeAndre Ayton and bringing back Jackson Hayes, they share the same agent, Bill Duffy, that Luka Doncic has. So kind of turning to the free agent market and the current agent lists of them, I'd pick out 2 here that might make some sense to their team and do happen to be Bill Duffy clients. One of which being Amir Coffey, a 28-year-old free agent via the LA Clippers, them kind of filling his spot and maybe planning to with Bradley Beal, also making a trade for John Collins, so he might not be back with their team. I think that could be an option for their team, off the bench giving them kind of a 3-and-D option, more so the 3-point shooting part, but also a decent defender. Is only 28 years old and is a big 3-and-D kind of wing, 6'7" with a 6'8" wingspan, great 3-point shooter, decent defender, won't hurt you on defense, so that could be an option for them. Again, his agent is Bill Duffy, so he might help them get them for Luka Doncic. Or then for a guy like Gary Payton II. If Golden State would in fact get DeAnthony Melton, then Gary Payton might be up for a different team here, and that team could very well be the purple and gold. And well, I think we know what GP2 has to offer, that being defense and very good pesky point of attack defense, doing it for well over half a decade at this point with Golden State, also is a decent 3-and-D option for a backcourt player, isn't the best 3-point shooter per se, only a 34% career 3-point shooter, but is a whole lot better from the corner, being a 39.3% career corner 3-point shooter, so stick him in the corner, then have him out there for his defense at the point of attack and simply to cause mayhem on the court. That might not be a bad option for them and definitely not a bad backup plan to DeAnthony Melton, Malcolm Brogdon, or Bradley Beal, especially if you're only replacing him with Shake Milton. I definitely would do that. So with all of that being said, that's the current intel I could find and where things currently stand for the Lakers and really the entire NBA on the free agent market. Simply put, waiting for the Bradley Beal contract buyout, then waiting for him to pick a team, and if it happens to be their team, I think they definitely would sign him, but I don't think it will be. And therefore after that point, waiting for the free agent market to pick back up again, other free agents are waiting for Bradley Beal to sign and take the money with that certain team. Other teams might then give them the remainder of their free agent cap space, and that's kind of what's holding everything up here. Whether that be for DeAnthony Melton, Malcolm Brogdon, Amir Coffey, Gary Payton II, I think they all fall into that category. And well, with that in mind here, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the current free agent market? How do you feel about the Lakers situation? Do you think they are trying to get Bradley Beal or simply wait until he gets signed by a different team, then try to pick up what's left after that point? Let me know your thoughts and what you think will happen in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.